Okay, so today is what, August 5th or 6th?
Something.
You know, something like that.
They say the 5th. Saturday's the 5th.
Saturday is the 5th, August 5th, 2023. It's about, clock says, what, 11?
11:10?
11, yeah, in the morning.
Yeah.
So you were just telling me a story about coming to the airport in in Hong Kong. And
Yeah.
this is what year you think?
This
Roughly?
is the early 1990s. 1992 or 3. And
1992 or
in the olden days.
3. Yeah.
And it's in the days of the bureaucrat, of which they seem to have sprouted a whole lot more now. And they have their duty to perform, and they do it in a thorough way. And this one day I come to work to take my airplane from Hong Kong back to the west coast of America, and 747. And I had been out shopping at the night market before, where I bought a Gurkha knife with a nice sheath and everything, cost me maybe $5. Well, I had that setting on top of all my flight manuals in my flight bag, and so when we went through security at the Chinese checkpoint at the Hong Kong airport, they opened up and said, "Oh, you can't carry a knife onto the airplane like that. We have to take that from you, and we'll put it in a box, and we'll give it to the captain, and he'll give it to you when you get to your destination." And I said, "Well, I am the captain." And that didn't seem to matter. So they went and she called her supervisor over, and they filled out all the paperwork and my name and all this stuff. And then they called over the police authority to make sure that everything was okay, and that was okay. And I was free to go out to my airplane, go to work. And as they loaded the passengers and filling up the airplane, here they come up, and here's this box that comes to the cockpit for the captain to take care of. So
He gave you a Gurkha knife.
I got
right there in
a
the
Gurkha
cockpit.
knife in my box. They brought it up to me. I didn't have to carry it.
Yeah, that's pretty nice of them.
Yeah, they brought
Package
it
it up and deliver it to you there. So you don't need to carry that all the way out there. We got it for you.
So I run into that now here and again with the bureaucrat everywhere. They need the authority to say, "Oh, okay, go on, just take it."
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. They don't care whether it makes sense or not. They've got, in the bureaucratic mind, here's the textbook, and this is how it's done, step by step, whether it applies or not.
Right. Yeah, so we're playing around in this space where the rules are changing really fast. Like we have the capacity to change the rules really fast now. Like the rules, the procedures that were written yesterday by people who actually knew how to do what needed to be done yesterday and are dead and gone today. They're not present to update it, and we got to think for ourselves.
Oh, for ourselves.
Yeah, for ourselves, which
Huh.
is really,
Yeah. So I like to promote more and more and more of that, where people can see the wisdom of the moment and take it, instead of dragging the past that is not necessarily applicable at the time anymore.
well, right. It's a tricky balance though, because some of it is applicable. So
Yeah.
I only want to be adjusting the parts that actually need to be adjusted.
Makes sense?
And I know, yeah, and it's a constant, it's a balancing act practiced in humility, because I know I'm going to miss at least a little bit. Probably, if you reduce it, ultimately half of the time I'm going to miss. It comes down to a coin toss.
Okay.
Is how if you reduce it in those terms, into the binary, into the play between the darkness and the light, it's 50-50. So then the question is how much am I risking at a shot? How careful am I? And it's something like if I carry arrogance into the frame of decision making, it introduces unnecessary risk.
Yeah, so how do you bring refinement into the decision?
Yeah.
That's where I like to see how I can refine my refinement, because when I look back, I made a lot of mistakes. I shouldn't have done it that way.
Yeah.
That could have been a better decision. So why did I think I was doing something better than it really was when you find out it wasn't? Oh, you have to add something. Something has been added because you have that perspective now. You can see,
Yep.
oh, that wasn't the way to go.
Well, so to me, we've talked a little bit about the artist, and the artist to me is the one who takes even the failures, the mistakes, and makes something beautiful out of it. Elaborates the story of the past such that it affords that player in this moment to do something creative, meaning make the moment more beautiful than it is right now, as a consequence of the elaboration of the mistake from yesterday.
Yeah, so you got raw material now of the mistake in order to make something more beautiful.
Yep, exactly.
Get my nose dripping here.
Well, that's probably good. That's a 6-minute clip.
Okay.